Yo, what's up? So, I was informed to update y'all, and I wasn't going to, but I figure I do have a few words that I'd like to share. So, bear with me when I say this. There are, and I don't want to say it. I really don't at all. And the whole situation. So, yeah. Long story short, I tried to fucking do some shit or whatever, hypothetically, let's just say I put myself in a situation where I woke up in the ICU and I should have been dead. And long story short, I got removed from the unit I was at, moved to a different unit, right? Put on a different place or whatever, due to the fact of my overwhelming anxiety, depression, yada, yada, yada. And, so I ended up working under this officer who's a lieutenant in the Coast Guard, and here's the suicide prevention officer, believe it or not, right? So this individual tells me, he says, he's all like, telling me, he pulls me in his office one-on-one, and he's all like, first of all, like, we could get you in, you're a good hard worker, like, you do what you say, yada yada, and we could change rates, and we could do this, and we could get you a different job, and yada yada. And I'm like, no, my contract is ending and I'm getting out of the military. Well, I didn't say that to him, but I was just like, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. And then he's like, all right, enough with the sir stuff, just me and you, right, off the ranks. You know how they always pull with that, like, see these, they're not here anymore, pretend they're not here or whatever, right? So they're like, this is a classic officer move, already diminishing me, like, already, like, pretend I'm not an officer, pretend I'm just a human being. Like, do I have to pretend, or are you a human being? You know what I mean? Anyway, bear with me, because what this individual said to me next during this interview or whatever was horrible. And I thought of phone calling him and, like, making a podcast like this with him on the other line, but unfortunately I spoke too soon to an officer, or to a chief, and they must have ran their mouth to this individual, and now I can no longer do that, because that individual, they care about their reputation, and they would rather lie and hide under the covers rather than be exposed for the truth, which is understandable. Being an officer in the Coast Guard or in the military, it's a very political situation to be in, and if you know anything about politics, when it comes to that, people are kind of weird. Anyway, I would just say, why don't you just be you and be honest? But some people would disagree with that. This guy is one of them. Don't let these people fucking fool you. There are so many of them motherfuckers, so many leaders in these positions where they're all like, pretending they're a good person, pretending they're trying to lead towards a better direction. No, you're forcing your will on somebody else. You're forcing your vision, and it's going in the wrong direction. I don't want anything part of that. And when people force me to live their life, or to live the life that they want to live or whatever, it kind of messes with my head and really annoys me and upsets me, and actually it makes me quite angry, because I live life how I want to live life. And I'm able to do that now, but at the time I wasn't able to, being active duty enlisted. So there's a lot of repercussions that I would have faced, and also considering the fact that I've been found and convicted guilty of a crime that I did not commit. I already know how the system works, so I'm just going to keep my mouth shut when it comes to most things, because being in, I couldn't really say any of that or speak my mind freely. I was very regulated, very controlled. With that being said, technically I wasn't. They were just threatening me, if I talk or whatever. With that being said, the dude sits me down and he looks me in my eyes and he says, all right, let's be real. What are you going to do when you get out of the Coast Guard then? I'm like, well, I'm going to go to college and further pursue my education. That's an option. Also, I could get a part-time job somewhere, or just get a job somewhere, like literally anywhere. I could work at literally anywhere. I could work at Walmart. I didn't tell him that, but literally I could work at literally anywhere and be happy, because right now I'm not, and that's what's important to me. He's just like, all right, what are you gonna do when you need money? I'm like, I could start a business even if I wanted to. I could start a coffee shop. He's like, failed. I know multiple people have done that. Next, what's your other option? I'm like, well, I could go to. First of all, I didn't say this, but I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool. You have each options, like plan A through whatever. Like, I do as well. I just don't talk to that about people. Anyway, sure, you want to know plan B or whatever, or a plan or whatever throughout the list. Okay, I could go to college. Blah, 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 blah. It's just like, boom, what are you going to study? I'm like, well, I'd study this because I find it interesting. He's like, well, I'm an officer. I wasn't enlisted, and I couldn't even comprehend that. So good luck with that. What's your other option? And then he's just like, and then he says, all right. He says this. He says, all right, I'm just going to be real with you, right? You have no friends. All your friends, everybody you used to know and hung out with, they all left you. They forgot about you. They don't even know who you are. Nobody gives a fuck about you from where you're from. And they all moved on. Like, let's just be honest here. So you're going to go home and you're going to have nobody to hang out with, no friends, no family. Like, obviously you're not close with them because you've been with us for the past 5 years and you haven't really been home, and clear, because he looks at my record, how much time I take leave, how much time I go home. And throughout the past 5 years, I've only been home for probably like less than 15 days. So, I mean, whatever. And I've missed funerals, birthdays, and they told me I wasn't able to go due to the rank and due to the, what was it called, the needs of the service, even though they would let other members just. And meanwhile, I got to sit here because I just got masted, wrongfully convicted of a crime, and there's a lot of like I said, I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to say it. Because I don't want your fucking sympathy. I just want the truth to be out there. That's it. And when I was getting investigated by CGIS, which is Coast Guard Investigative Services, it's basically the FBI. It's basically the DA, right? So the police get investigated by their own police, right? So the Coast Guard get investigated by their own NCIS, blah, blah, blah. Coast Guard is our version of NCIS, basically. So they're investigating me, like, they're doing, like, an interview with mug shots and yada, yada, and, like, fucking, they take hair follicles and yada, yada, and, like, I'm just being accused of things left and fucking right. Like, accused, not only accused, but, like, blamed, and, like, they're telling me, like, it's, like, I'm like, whoa. Because there's like 3 people investigating. There's a lady typing, there's 2 dudes, bad cop, good cop, and the bad cop was like really all up in my face, like screaming at me, I just want the fucking truth. Like, I just want the. And I'm like, take my fucking hair then, dog. Where do you got to take it from? We could take it from your hair. I'm like, you ain't touching my hair. It's just like, well, good thing for you. We could take it anywhere, buddy. I'm like, all right then. Have at it. And I like let him like shave my entire armpit off, and then he shaves some of my leg hair and stuff. I didn't let him touch any of this hair just because, like, I've already been bullied, like, in the military about how I have a receding hairline and stuff like that. So I don't let anyone fuck with my hair unless I let you fuck with my hair, and I ain't gonna let some fucking, you know what I mean? Realistically, what I know now in these situations, like, you don't talk a lot. Like, honestly, you save yourself and you don't say fucking shit. Like, that's all you got to say. Like, they can't force you. In my situation, they might have been able to. I don't know. I didn't know any information. Like, I didn't know as much. Like, nowadays, I literally, quite literally, do what I want. So, which is amazing. It's a great situation to be in. And I got here due to the fact that everyone kept, like, pushing me around and, like, yada, like, higher ups. Like, and I had no ability to, like, stand up for myself. But now I could be vocal, very direct. I could say whatever I want, and I mean what I say. I mean what I say, which is horrible, because I've said some horrible things to people, and The only reason I've said horrible things to people was because like I'm very passionate about what I do, and I have been through a lot, and yeah, people can get offended by that. Um, but if I'm direct with you and stuff like that, it's just because I care about you, type of thing. And if you take offense to that, I will not apologize. Yeah, because to be frank, that is your problem. If you are taking offense to the like, because I don't mean it in any type of way. This officer did. He meant it in that type of way. I don't mean it because and what I'm referring to is I got family members, like I got people that owe me money and people that like had made the wrong decision in life and stuff like that. Well, long story short, I don't give money to nobody anymore. Nobody. Anyway, with that being said, if anybody asks me for anything, sometimes I get hella weird just because like people have been asking me for like so much stuff, and then people like turn around and do that two-faced bullshit talking about, oh, I'll remember that, and I'm like, fine, I'll just hand out, and then like years go by, and it's just like the same people that saying they'll remember that. They ain't never hooked me up, they ain't never helped me out, and it's been fucking years. I don't want them to, like, honestly, I don't. I'm good on my own. I'm a self-sufficient, functioning, independent individual. I am happy that way. If there's anybody that would like to come into my life and like just share some conversation and share some time, that is what I'm willing to like provide. I'm willing to provide time if I have it. If I don't, I don't. And it's up to you if you get offended by me not hanging out with you or not wanting to hang out with you, or even if I do want to hang out with you and I just can't hang out with you. It's just I'm very direct. Like I said, very direct. Like if you tell me, if you say, "Hey, let's hang out right now," and I'm like, "No, I got shit to do." I'm not being rude. It's just no, I quite literally have shit to do, and I may want to hang out with you, but like I said, it's all if you pay attention to the words I say, I mean it. Like G-Eazy type shit. You don't get that reference. I probably shouldn't even said that. Anyway, yeah. So with that being said, I have been through a lot. And I wouldn't say like I'm necessarily like as happy as I used to be, as happy as I once was. Like I'm talking about like pre-Coast Guard, like in high school. Like I was pretty fucking happy. Kind of just kept myself a little bit. I had a girlfriend though, so it was just like her and I and my dad and my family and me. A lot of me time. Like I have a lot of me time with everything I do, and that's important because like I noticed like, and this is gonna sound fucked up, like having a girlfriend and stuff. Like she was great, by the way, great. But like I feel like it just put me in a situation where I became very complacent, and I noticed, I don't know, maybe I was in my head, but I was like, I think maybe I'm becoming lazy, like hanging out with her, because like sometimes I wouldn't want to focus on me and focus on the things that I had to do, my goals and what's important. Because I like have a weekly checklist or a daily checklist. Sometimes it depends on what I'm doing, what I got going on. And then like sometimes I'd be like, well, I'd rather hang out with so and so, my girlfriend, or like I'd rather you know, rather than do what I got to do for myself to succeed. And I think that's what the definition of complacency is, right? And I think for me personally, it's going to take a while to develop in life to a situation where I'm comfortable having a family and, you know, or maybe a significant other, if you want to, you know, put it that way or whatever, right? A person that I could connect with on that level, that deep, which I had that, right? And I do have that still with some people, non-sexual relationships, with men, other, you know what I mean? I'm straight, by the way. I just want to say that because some people are mad weird considering some people, I don't know. It's all the perception thing. But yeah, you know, they call that bromance, right? And some people get mad weird about that type shit. But nah, it's a fact. It's a fact. Connecting with another human being beyond their sexuality or whatever you want to call it. Supposedly, that's called. I'm not going to say what it's called because, you know, either you know or you don't or whatever, right? And I bring that up because people don't really like think about it, but like, I had somebody kind of mention this, but they didn't mention it. They said that it, and I looked. They said I'm a liberal, right? I was told I'm a liberal, but like I don't identify with the liberal party. You know, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense, but the way I see it is, I stand for freedom of speech, and the liberation of tyranny and communism and control and dictatorship and forcing other people to do things and stuff like that. I stand so basically against that. So liberation, liberal. So that's really what I would, when people like, if people were to call me a liberal, like that's kind of like what I like, you know, how I would identify. With that being said, we're 16 minutes into the video. Whoops. I should be doing live. Like, this should be live, but like sometimes I do get worried that like I'm just gonna get on a roll with things that I'm saying, and like things gonna slip out that I shouldn't say. Like I said, I'm very direct, very upfront, very honest, and I don't want to say something that I may regret. You know what I mean? And oh, by the way, let's talk about regrets, because right now I have zero regrets. I almost got this tattoo located in my face. Kind of, you know, it's a perception thing. If you know why I got this tattoo, it's a perception thing. But also, I don't have any regrets right now. Like, literally, I have zero regrets. Zero regrets. And if I got this tattoo on my face, I still would, to this day, have zero regrets. I was actually going to reach out to the artist that did this tattoo and be like, yo, man, listen, like, I got an idea, and, like, because nobody would believe this or whatever. I was going to mention that literally after I got, because I ran half of a marathon, more than half a marathon to get this tattoo, and I was dehydrated, I was hungry, I was starving and malnourished, and I wasn't tripping, but I was looking at the ground and shit was moving that shouldn't be, and I was standing still. So do with that what you will. If you've ever had a runner's high, this was like completely fucking different. You know, and that's why I love running too. Running is fucking, well, it's a love-hate relationship. Like, you know, but it's a beautiful process, because like, sure, it sucked then. It sucked May 8th when I was running a marathon in Toronto, the fourth largest city in North America. I ran that marathon in 4 hours and 20 minutes, 26.2 miles, 46 kilometers, 46 point something kilometers. 4 hours, 20 minutes, in 5 seconds. And it was very difficult, very painful, and most people would say, you know, you're crazy for spending that much money, yada, 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 like, so stupid, and you're only there for like 2 days or whatever, and I'm like, okay, all right. I mean, I did it though. What did you do while I was doing that? None of my business. Don't answer that question, because I don't care. And realistically, it's my dad who said that, by the way, and so I do care, but sometimes I'll be mean on accident or whatever, and I'll say that because like people will tell me stuff like threatening my way of life or whatever, discriminating my way of life. It's just like, running makes me happy, and well, it doesn't, I don't know, it's painful, like it hurts, but the after effect makes me happy, and the fact that I accomplished something makes me happy, and the fact that I'm going through this journey in life, and I'm able to have these thoughts and experience and have these feelings and emotions and thoughts and reflect on so much, everything I've already been through. That is what I love, okay? The pain, I'm kind of weird. Like, I kind of do like the pain too. Like, I like it a little bit maybe, okay? But I don't talk about that because, like, people get weird about that, like, or whatever. Yeah, but yeah, it's like, you know, you're going throughout this whole event of life, and most people are just waiting to achieve that, you know, that ultimate orgasm, right? You know, like, and quite literally, I have achieved orgasms, non-sexual orgasms. Yeah, and it's weird saying that. It's so weird saying that, but like, it is like the most amazing feeling to have an orgasm that is completely separate from a sexual experience. Like, that is fucking incredible. And that may sound completely fucking nuts. And my apologies for swearing so much, but um, I apologize for swearing. I apologize for swearing, even though whatever. I just do it because some people do take offense to it and stuff like that. And I've accidentally offended multiple people, and like, throughout my life, and whatever. I'm just trying to do the best I can nowadays, though. I'm trying to, for me, I'm trying to be a better person for me and for the people that are already in my life, and for those people I'm really close with, and for the people that maybe I'm gonna be close with in the future too. I want to be that guy that I'm so successful and I'm able to walk up to these people and, like, consider them close to me and stuff like that. And and that's important. By the way, my definition of success has little to do with money, and it has everything to do with how I define it is, most people may not understand this. I mean, you might think I'm just rambling at this point, but how I define it is, at the end of the day, week, month, year, or whatever, you are happy with where you are now, with exactly where your fucking foot is on this earth. You're okay with everything. Like, you're okay. That's success. Okay. I mean, I could show you my bank account and you would think, this motherfucker is not successful. I mean, well, it's all about perception, right? Some people may think, oh wow, or some people may think this. I mean, realistically, it's nobody's business. It's none of your business. It's my business, and that's it. Just my business. That particular thing. But the success, I will share with that, because success is a universal word, right? My finances and what I'm going through right now, it's just I don't feel comfortable sharing that with people. Just considering what I've been through. With that said, man, with that said, one day I will be able to provide very generously for the ones I love, because some of the ones I love, they define success a little bit differently, and they are, like, very, very close to me. Yeah, with that being said, I don't know. Like, I wanna hook them up and all that stuff like that, but they have, like, horrible drug addictions and stuff like that. And if I do loan any money to these individuals or whatever, perhaps they will end up ODing and dying on drugs, which is horrible. But at the end of the day, if that's what they want to do with their life, I don't want to be the one supporting that. If that's what they want to do with their life, I don't want to be the one supporting that. So I'm not going to provide them with any money, but I'll provide them with my time and whatnot. And I want to be able to be like, oh yeah, you want to hop in fucking wherever, my car, and take it to the airport, and we could go literally anywhere in the world. We could go literally, I was looking at, it's funny, oh my gosh, and people now reach out to me and they're like, yeah, it's like normal. Like, now that I'm in this niche community of, like, where, like, digital nomading, or, like, just the enjoyment of traveling, the enjoyment of experiencing life, like, the fact that I can connect with other people, like, people that I didn't think I could physically comprehend that connection and understand it, like, this way. If you could understand what I'm saying, like, actually understand it and feel it, that, like, me finding these people and, like, I guess rekindling that flame and whatnot and connecting with them is just, like, it makes me tear up sometimes. So, I mean, that's why also, if you think I'm a little weird, that's your problem. I cry a lot, but I'm happy most of the time. And when I'm not, I'm honest about it. I'm happy right now. And yeah, I'd like to say I got a lot of things going for me. I got a lot of things going against me too, but I don't talk about that. I'm not here. I'm not trying to get your sympathy right now. I'm not going to tell you about, like, all the shit, like, in nitty-gritty detail. But I will say, this journey is not easy, and it is definitely a struggle. But the best journeys are the most difficult. Because think about it. If you had an easy life, if you had an easy journey, like, okay, cool. Cool story. I probably lost interest, you know, before I even knew who you were. I know that seems rude in whatnot, but I don't know. Just if you talk to me, if anybody says any words to me, literally I'm gonna look you, unless I'm going through some shit or like some shit's going on, I'm going to look you in the eye, comprehend what you just said to me, and then I'm gonna think about it, and then I'm gonna reply with exactly how I feel and exactly what I think about that. And then if you request any further input and I feel comfortable giving that input to you, I will provide that input. If not, I'll just tell you, hey, I'm busy, or hey, I got stuff going on, or yada yada yada. With that said, my ride should be here any moment. And damn, see, I could talk forever, and I should have did a live, and that's what somebody had just texted me like not too long ago. They told me to do live. Oh, and the person who texted me not too long ago telling me to even film this, yeah, they may watch my stuff, and they may very well be angry at me, like, but realistically they are they know me the longest, like, out of like, and they came from the same place, but unfortunately they just took a different path. Well, I say unfortunately, but they just took a different path, right? And their path is going to take, I don't know, whatever. That's their story, right? That's their story to tell. And they could go ahead and do that. If you know how to do stitches too, you could put that in here or whatever if you feel comfortable. By the way, this is gonna be raw, unedited. I'm just gonna drop this on YouTube and maybe make some shorts and throw that on Instagram Reel or any other various different locations. It takes a lot of time for me to do that because editing on Instagram or IG, Tik, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube, so that's 5 different platforms, and then maybe Spotify, getting that branched out. That's way, I don't even want to talk about that because I'm not even working on that right now. And I only like talking about like things I'm actively doing, things I'm actively pursuing, or things I know is a legitimate possibility or reality, right? And so right now I'm not going to talk about that. And even though it is a possibility and reality, stuff like that, I'm just not going to talk about it because I'm not working on it right now. But what I am working on is all this other stuff. And if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Yeah. With that said, it's kind of hilarious because literally, like, so people normally would be like, oh, this motherfucker is like on some shit or whatever. And yeah, sure, I took some fucking I took a fun course of events last night, and hey, it led me right here, right, having this conversation with you, if you are in fact listening. And yeah, so yeah, I took some shrooms, right? I just had some fun. But some people think like, oh yeah, this guy, all he does is fucking take shrooms and trip and do drugs or whatever. Like, no, that's not true at all. I smoke weed, and I smoke a lot of weed, and I'm actually damn proud to say that. I mean, whatever, some people think, oh, what about jobs? Like, oh, what about this? Okay, I mean, I'll figure that out. That's none of your business. Like, you don't have to worry about that, all right? Yeah. So, yeah, I smoke a lot of weed, and I don't do any of the other stuff, but I have experienced a life worth living, and I've experienced, like, I have more than 1,000 pages worth of just stuff that I've experienced and lived through and stuff like that. And yeah, perhaps I'm not comfortable sharing some of that stuff quite yet, but that's just and like I said, that's why, like, one of them sympathy things too, like oh, people are gonna be like, oh, he's just a fucking ex-drug addict, or he's just a fucking current drug addict because he's smoking weed and tripping shrooms every now and then, even though, whatever, have your own opinion on that, that's your business. Yeah, just in general, have your own opinion on that. looks like I think I'm going to have to go. Yeah, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And what's coming up to follow? Forward-looking statements include I have a lot of editing to do. I have a lot of working out to do. And I have a lot of catching up with some friends, some actual friends, some real friends, and some real people that have potential to become friends. And even if they're not going to become friends, like, they could just become acquaintances. And even if they don't become acquaintances, they don't have to be in my life at all. I don't care. With that being said, don't get butthurt if I don't hang out with you a lot or whatever, because some people already have been mad weird, and I've already been receiving, like, threats and stuff. So, yeah. And these are threats from individuals. Now that I'm out of the military, these are threats from individuals that I used to, I guess, go to high school with or whatever. I don't really remember. I don't remember everybody. Like I said, I was kind of like I don't know if you know this, but maybe you don't. I don't know. I kind of just kept my head down or whatever most of the time in high school and just kind of, or whatever. With that being said, yeah, with that being said, I'm just glad you're listening, man. I really am. If you made it 31 minutes into this, I'm definitely glad you're listening. Like, that's huge to me. I mean, fuck. Even if you're, like, throwing shade against me, even if you're hating on me, like, thank you for listening. I really appreciate that, because time is extremely valuable, and I just hope I didn't waste any of yours. With that being said, now I'm going to cut the video off for real. Hopefully I have nothing else to say that comes to my head when I turn the fucking quarter off. Yeah, wow, I'm posting this right now. That's incredible. All right, anyway, we're going to hit 32 minutes. Thanks. Peace.